it because we from the same house. Mendel Monarch, Blue Smoke.
Blue Smoke all the way, man.
Hey, so how are you doing in the midst of, this COVID and all the stuff going on? How's your family? How are you?
Well, yeah, everybody's good, man. Like we're trying to stay away from it, as you know, but at the same time, we got to live our lives, right? We just do everything that like the CDC says, right? We put
Yeah.
our mask on, we get vaccinated, we try to stay 6 feet and do the distancing thing, but at the same time, like, we got to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of us like are really just kind of pushing the whole envelope of like traveling as much as possible and just having fun, but doing it as safely as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, you said the key. It's like no matter where you're at, continue to be safe, continue to keep your distance as much as you can. But to your point, it's time to get back to get back, open things up a little bit,
Absolutely.
so that things can flow.
Yep.
Things can begin to flow, and I think you hit that spot on. Well, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your background, where you went to school and grew up, all that good stuff.
All right. Well, I'll try to go back a little bit. So, yeah, man, I'm right here from Chicago, man. South Side of 87th Street. Grew up right between Stony Island and Jeffrey. Um, I went to Caldwell Elementary, where you know what? This is going to sound crazy, but I went to school with a young lady named Kim Hurley, which is actually Steve Hurley's younger sister.
Wow.
My eighth grade teacher used to tease me all the time because she knew I wanted to be a DJ. Had my first set of turntables when I was like in sixth grade, right? They were terrible. But yeah, she used to tease me all the time, like, you want to be like Steve Hurley, you have to get good grades and you have to do this. So yeah, it just kind of followed me along. I graduated, went to Mendel. Um, as a freshman, I won a DJ battle to play. I opened up for Ron Hardy for our homecoming in 1986.
Wait. So hold on. That's epic. That's epic. That's not just a little bitty something. That's a big something. You opened up for Ron Hardy at Mendel.
Yep, at 14 years old.
That's crazy.
And I'm gonna tell you, I was shaking in my shoes that I had a legend because he was there too. Like he wasn't like just popping up at the last minute. He actually came, listened to my set, gave me pointers and hints and stuff like that. Man, it was incredible. Like we had
Wow.
an actual conversation.
That is incredible. Hey, welcome to the show. Lisa, thanks for stopping by. House Culture Conversations. Give your comments, questions, chats. We're just getting to know George Jackson a little bit better. Now, what I didn't know is where you grew up, because I grew up on 91st and Stony Island.
Dude, we are like when I say for real, we are connected. We are connected. I grew up on 87th and Constance.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I was right there on 91st. Well, 91st cut the other way. So I
Right.
was on the end of Cornell. So where Cornell ran out on 91st, I was right at that little intersection. So yeah, we probably about, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Mhm.
If that, driving probably 2 minutes or
Right.
less. So
I'm sure we didn't rode past your house on bikes when we used to swing
exactly.
down Peel Hill, man.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Bird? What's happening? It is
Oh
good to
man,
see.
Terrell, what up?
Yes, we had him on last week.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Like,
Yes,
hey,
he's
man.
cutting it. And ever since then, I've been catching him out and about tearing up them tables. That last set, I don't know where you was, Terrell, but that was fire.
I
That
know
was
he's at
fire.
I know he's at room 43. I've been trying to get out there for the longest. So I'm just a quick thing I do. Like I'm a dean at a high school, so like
Ah.
I really be trying to come out, but them 7:15, I got to be at work type situations. You killing me.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm
That
gonna
is
get
too
out there though.
funny. That's funny. But yes, it was 43. That's where it was. And
Yep.
man, that place I was watching virtually. And
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, I couldn't sit down. I threw out all my chairs and my furniture out and just created a dance floor.
That's
Hey,
really cool.
what's happening, Monarch? What is
Definitely.
happening, Monarch? We got Bob Peters
What
in the
up?
house. That's it, Monarch. It's a blue smoke kind of night. What's happening?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Teresa, that was room 43.
Yep.
Yes, man. Hey, keep doing that bang up job there, man. Hey, Bob says we're new style. That's right. So we got the well now, Bob. What was it? 78 for you, and then we got 84, and then we got 88, which is interesting because you went to Mendel when it kind of transferred over,
Yeah.
but
So, yeah,
it's
I
still
spent two
Mendel.
years.
It's
I
still
spent
Mendel.
2 years Mendel and then 2 years St. Martin, which we rebelled heavy when it changed over to St. Martin. We loved the fact that it was girls there. At the same time, we hated the fact that they changed everything.
Yes, yeah, but I tell you what, every time you drive by that campus, you just remember the wonderful times we had back then.
Absolutely.
So you got into DJing pretty early. How'd that come about? That you just wanted to get into DJing and house music. How'd you kind of fall in love with that?
Man, so I've always been like a music head anyway. Like as a shorty, my dad used to take me to get like the 45s. Like I had an allowance where I would buy my own 45s. Um, but then like one of my buddies that lived across the street, his name is Dave Dawson. I'll never forget. He had a once again. We all had shitty pair of turn. Oh, I'm sorry. We had horrible.
Kid friendly show. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm gonna stay PG. We had horrible turntables, right? But like, well, he did, and I got on him, and I was like, man, let me, I start playing on him, and then I was just hooked. I got a pair like the next year. This was like '84.
Mm.
From '84 to '86, all I would do is literally just like stay in my mom's basement and play records, like blend the same like 5 records over and over and over again. When I graduated from 8th grade and went to Mendel, dude, they used to have the student lounge.
Right.
They
Oh
had
yeah.
yeah, so we had like the battle of the DJs in the student lounge. I was like, well, I'm getting in it. I don't care. Man, actually won, played the set, opened it up for our homecoming with Ron Hardy, and then after that, I started hooking up with a promoter named Marvin Terry. He was the guy that threw the infamous McCormick Place party that
Mhm.
Halloween. Uh,
Mm.
but after that, he did other parties as well. But like I ended up DJing at the Ascot for Christmas that same year, and I guess I was good enough to be on the team, so I was just rolling with him, doing party after party after party all through my high school career, man. And Ascot, Bismarck, Medina Temple.
Wow. Now that's one I ain't heard in a minute.
Man,
Medina. That was.
yeah, Marina Towers,
Hmm.
um, even going back to the juice bars like the Hummingbird and Gentle Persuasion and Sawyers or Sours, whichever one they pronounce it. Whatever they pronounce it as. Yeah, it was just man, I did the Copper Box too, and I was like a shorty.
The copper
Um,
box. Uh-oh. Oh, you're doing Steffi sets.
no, man, house.
They
It
did a little
was like
house there too.
it was a kiddie party, man. They took all the liquor off the bar. It was crazy. Yeah, but it was just like a good time. Like that whole 86 to 90 was just an incredible time. I was still doing Mendel parties. When it changed over to St. Martin, I was like running a lot of the St. Martin the Poor's parties. Um, Finished up, went to NIU, was doing parties there with my guy Mike Fever, Nick and Diego from Mendel. They went to NIU. I was running parties with them. Um, and my dude Billy Dudley, I can't forget him. Billy Dudley, I believe he's still a police officer in Chicago. But yeah, man, like we did that. Then I came home. Man, it was just party after party after party. I was working
now,
jobs and
now, when
partying.
you went to NIU,
Mhm.
was there a house culture there at that time? Was
Oh yeah,
there was a big house culture at that point?
So there was no hip hop at parties. I think we kind of started to ease a couple of records in. Like it started with it really started with Telephone Love, which is really a reggae record.
Mm,
And then like we would just ease in little hip hop records here and there just to, I don't know, just to make it seem a little different.
yeah.
But it was all house music. Man, like all house music at
That's
MSU.
amazing how, once we came out of high school and went to college, we took that culture and we drove it across the country in these various campuses that we were on as DJs and as people that loved the genre and the music. So if there was a DJ, you were bringing it on. And, Bob, to your point, Mendel Roots spreading out all over the nation. I
Yep.
mean, people obviously took it down south, took it to HBCUs, took it all over, and I believe that's part of the reason the music spread, and now it's global.
Yeah.
Question for you as we have started now moving into this kind of virtual world. What's your perspective on how that evolution has come about, and what it means to the genre, and also what it means to people like yourself as a DJ?
So the whole virtual thing is just tough anyway because I mean it's not like being in a party, right? It's nowhere near like being in a party, but it does like it really helps you to meet people and kind of
Yeah,
like branch out as far as you possibly can, like as far as you'll ever know.
yeah.
I've literally done events like in Amsterdam and London off of streaming
Hmm.
and producing. Is like producing and streaming has really kind of like taken me to some far outreaching places, and I've met so many different people from all over.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is the upside, as it were, to being in that virtual world. It's funny because I've been on a streaming set. It's cooking, it's going, it's doing the thing, and then they're about to shut it down. Hey, last song, and then they like, hey, check the whispers, and go in the whispers, and somebody's made a deal with him to keep going for another couple hours because he got the big screen on and he's got the Twitch stream for that DJ going at
Mhm.
his house or at the club. He's like, I need you to keep going and they
Wow.
make a deal of just instantaneously. And he's like, "We're going to keep going for a couple of hours."
Oh yeah, at that point you just keep it moving.
Just keep it moving. And to your point, it's nothing like being at a party,
Right.
but it has made some access, right, that you might not have had before to people you would never even know. And it's funny how, we grew up in the same neighborhood, and probably the only thing that kept our distance was a couple of years difference in age. I came out in 84.
Right.
So that was probably the only thing. But now through this virtual world and through, being connected to people like Terrell and then other people, I'm like, oh, George G. Spy Jackson. Let me reach out to him. And then next thing you know, yeah, we grew up in the same neighborhood and same everything. Went to the same high school. We kept, it is amazing how much of a family that the culture has birthed. Right, so many of us came from that area. So if they're out there jagging house music and they're from Chicago, you have a connection in some kind of way.
Absolutely.
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 Now, you span at a lot of the marquee locations. What you have to have some stories. What's one or two of your favorite stories from back in the day?
Oh, from back in the day. Man, like, I'll tell this one. Like, I'll never forget. I was actually I DJ'd at Navy Pier too, like when it was all kind of like shut down in that
Right.
ballroom. When they would
Yeah.
flush you back there because they didn't
Hmm.
trust that you could walk back there. But like I remember, and this ain't even at the party, but like um, I remember passing out flyers, man, for a ton of these parties, right? And I'm out we're out at the Rosemont Horizon, I guess at the time, and we're passing out flyers, and we're going crazy, and the police roll up on us. Now, keep in mind, I am still about 15, maybe 16. My mom had to like vet the promoter, Marvin Terry. She told him like flat out, if my son gets hurt, arrested, anything goes wrong, me and you are gonna like go at it.
We're gonna have a problem.
Man, Rosemont police rolled up on us. They was trying to take us all to jail.
For passing out flies?
It's illegal on private property.
Mm.
And at the time, like we weren't thinking about that.
Right.
Like to be honest, and my wife is probably hearing all this stuff in the background, so she's probably gonna want to kill me. If you see a bottle come up from the back, man, you know what's up. But like, at the time, man, like it was all about, playing music and being around girls. So I'm passing out flyers, my picture on them. And the girls are like, oh, that's you? That's you? Like, man, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, the police roll up and we're just like, oh, snap, like it just got real. And all I kept thinking about was the fact that my mom was going to like kill everybody. I was not going to DJ no more parties ever. But no, it worked itself out, man. Somehow we worked out, a situation. They were like, yeah, just pass them out over by the gate. You'll be okay. But
that's great. But it's interesting. That's how we used to get the word out.
Yeah.
You pass a flyer out. You probably have very nice ones, but I've seen people with paper flyers. They were just, whatever.
Flyers too. Those old school Pronto flyers, Pronto printing flyers.
Yep.
They were terrible. But at the same time, like you can, you look at them and you're just like, man, that was a great time in like music history and party history. Like even going back, I remember I wasn't even spinning this party, but do you remember the Chicago Bad Boy party that all like they were taking people's coats and it was dead of winter? I think it was like on a Christmas night.
No. No.
Dude, I think my coat got taken too, but it was like it was a bunch of people just like bum rushed the coat check and just took a ton of coats. And man, people was outside trying to get rides, getting on the bus. It was freezing outside.
Oh man, my God! Now that's a story. Now that is a story there. Now, and we were talking about this before we jumped online. With all the crazy things that went on when we were coming up, the parties and all the different things, we still were safe. It might have been some shenanigans like that, or it might have been even a little scuffle, but you didn't fear for your life more than not. I mean, there may have been one, or very rare. I mean, it would have been, but now you really think twice about saying the wrong thing, or because you just don't know. And that's one of the things that I really think in our conversation is, hey, yeah, it's okay, have fun. If you get into disagreements or exchange, handle it like men. Either there's a conversation, or okay, you got to put the dukes up or something, but don't be like, I'll be right back.
And that's what they do.
Yeah, and then everybody scatter, right? Everybody got to scatter.
It's like back in the day, people fought.
Yeah,
they use their hands, and the thing is like we were just talking about this. Like I think now, especially, like there wasn't then it wasn't really a lot of people trying to fight or harm the kids. I mean,
right.
We, like I said, we fought. You might get into a fight where somebody break out a bat, and then you run, right?
Right. Exactly. Hightail it.
But like it was like then the adults had their issues. The adults, like they were young adults, but they were still adults.
Yeah.
They were beefing. They were the one kind of gang banging. We gang bang, but it was on a different level. Well, I won't say I gang bang. My mom would have killed me. But It was just different. Like now, these kids can't go nowhere and they can't do anything. They're the ones that are the targets.
Yeah.
You know, I'm almost, I'll be 50 this month, right? I don't worry as much. I mean, I worry about a carjacking.
Yeah.
I worry about maybe that they don't want to, if I don't give up the car fast enough, it might be a problem. But it's our kids.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are facing a lot of this. And I think it's just because they never had to, first of all, they never grew up in a situation where they actually had to fight. They had more access than we did.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And, you know, to be quite honest, I just don't see the environment like what we had in high school, you know, with the house scene. I mean,
Mhm.
there's always a party going on, Mendo every Saturday or Friday, whatever it was, after the basketball games and after different games, football and all that kind of stuff. And then there was the playground. There was all the places you articulated earlier. There was just this energy across the city around this hot thing called house. And there were so many. And you always want, where we going next?
Yeah.
Where the next party at? Where the next party at? And I just don't feel that same, community because it was all across the city, but it felt like community.
Yeah. That's true. And I think it's just the fact that they don't really know house. They look at houses as like the almost like how we looked at jazz and
Mm.
blues when we were younger,
Yeah.
They look at it as like old people music. We don't want to hear that,
That's yeah,
and the hip hop they're listening to now, like we had a, our I love hip hop too. Like I love everything. So, but like we had like with that edutainment, we had the party hip hop, we had like West Coast craziness, we had, the down south stuff was still kind of new, but it was like a little bit of everything, and it kind of balanced out just all the negative stuff.
yeah,
Now it's all negative. There is nothing to balance out everybody talking about selling drugs, everybody talking about putting a cap in somebody's butt,
right,
all that stuff.
yep,
So
absolutely,
I think they're,
absolutely,
even on a just on a hip hop level, I think, or just thinking outside of house music, hip hop and a lot of different types of genres need to kind of have that balance. And I think
yeah,
once the radio stations and the record labels decide they want to have balance, things will start to kind of level out a little bit, I think.
yeah. Now, where do you think this thing's going to go? Right, house music, dance music, EDM, Afro, deep, acid. You know, we've got all of these different factions that have broken off of the genre. Where do you see the future of this thing?
Well, I know right now, as they kind of label everything EDM, although, you'll have like true house heads that'll say EDM is not house. That's a branch of it. It's what the major labels, I believe, just kind of said we'll put a label to it because we don't want to call it Afro house, Latin house, tech house, techno, deep house. They don't want to have all these subgenres. They just put one big label. But I think as it just continues to grow across the world, it can't do anything but get bigger.
Yeah,
Um, it's just a matter of everybody jumping on and saying like, I'm not going to um, just hold my ears hostage to just like one sound. I think
yeah,
as people branch out and listen to more stuff, travel more, see what other people are doing, it's gonna start to like get bigger and bigger. That's what I believe. Um, Now there are some people that may totally disagree with me. I'm a fan of like Latin house. I am
hmm
not Spanish in any way, shape, or form. But people always say like, man, this dude somehow his Dominican side is kicking in. I love it. I love to play tech house periodically. I love deep house. I love my disco. I love Afro house, man. That's like,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
it almost gets no better at this point.
Yeah, I think to your point, um, man, we've got to appreciate the music, and there's just some great music if you can open up your ears to. I love the way you said that. If don't close your ears to the expanse of the music, and the music is rich, it's far reaching. I mean, as I've gone virtual and started looking at all the other and listening to all the other DJ sets, I'm like, man, where's all this music come from?
Man, and it was crazy. Like I was having a conversation with somebody at Track Source, and they were saying like literally they get about 4,000 songs a day. It's music
Wow.
out here to be heard. We just have to open up and listen to more music. And as we do listen to more music, I think that's where it starts to expand. Right now, I
Yeah.
think, look, I'm a fan of disco. I love the fact that like I was listening to this stuff as a shorty, in the 70s, like actually playing it in the 80s and 90s and currently. Um, but like we gotta start to say, like, I love to hear, it's not over between you and me. But we can also listen to like some of the new stuff too. And we
Hmm.
gotta really just embrace a lot of it because it's so much out there. We just can't hold ourselves hostage to like 1972.
Yeah. Yeah. And, even today, a lot of those old songs are remixed over some new grooves.
Mhm.
And I'm really loving that because it allows you to experience it in a different way, but it's still what you love. And
Yep.
have that kind of tie back. It's kind of old, but brought new school. It always makes me think about Drumline when they, hipped up some of the old school songs and went on the field and they're like, hey, that's how I feel when I hear it. And it's to a new beat, to an Afro or to a Latin. I'm with you. I love some of that Latin house.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. You get that adrenaline going, man. That blood get to pumping.
Yes. Well,
Body get
tell the
warm.
tell the folks tell the folks where they can hear you and connect with you. Tell them all about you and your crew.
Well, right now, I do for some reason. Don't ask me how this happened. I linked up with a camp called the Tampa Househeads United. They do a lot of different events out in Tampa, Florida. I'm actually going out there on the 19th to do one of my birthday parties
Mm.
at a club called Pegasus. Um, I'm actually going to be out in Aurora to continue my birthday parties on the 25th. Aurora, Illinois. Don't ask me. I'm doing it with Rick Johnson, Steve Poindexter, Tim Spinning Shomer, and DJ Littlejohn. I'll also be at the Family Den second Mondays of the month, every month. But this first one we'll do actually this coming Monday with DJ Mickey Calvin. That's my guy. We've been playing forever. When I say we've known and played forever, like we have been friends and been playing together since I was 16, 49, about to be 50 now, so 30 some years.
Wow.
Um, and the crew has always been myself, Mickey Calvin, my guy Mike Fever. He's out in Tampa right now too, and my guy DJ Kurt Baton or DJ Vega, which passed away a number of years ago, but he's always all in our hearts, man. And I've always rolled with Lil Jon. I've always rolled with like man, just a ton of cats, man. Like Nick, Diego, like I said, they're Mendel brothers. Braxton Holmes, Mendel brother,
Yeah.
Daniel Page, which I was just talking to and watching his stream right before I jumped on here. He's another Mendel brother. Like man, we try to stay tight. My guy Gil that runs Campo Alegre, he's really helped me kind of branch out into different markets. And once again, I was talking to another cat that I just, met through the label and production, Time Stretchers. So like, yeah, it's the virtual world and the production has really kind of branched me out and had me like out there doing some things that I never thought I'd be doing.
That is awesome. And hey, I tell you what, this has been an amazing conversation, almost like a reunion of sorts. And I'm just extremely proud of you as a middleman to keep the genre going. Dean of school, my man. Hey, way
Right.
to take care of our youth, and get them some bright futures to look forward to. We got to take care of the next generation.
Right.
I'm just blessed to have made this exchange. It's been an amazing conversation, good people. Hey, Mr. George Jackson, aka DJ G Spot. We're gonna be seeing you out there on the dance floor doing your thing. And any last words for the folks?
Man, just when you see me on, like, also my virtual world, when you see me on Cyber Jams, man, just come down cyberjams.com. I'm on every Saturday from 3 to 5 Central. And on Tuesdays, I'm doing something called Do Something Different. And it's only streaming on Mixcloud Live, because I love their platform. And it literally can be, I mean, it's house music, but it's just got a totally different vibe. I talk that mess. I'll say that. I get a little
Adults.
controversial.
Yeah, look, adults only. Adults only.
Yeah, so, like, from 6 to 8, come check me out on that too.
Hey, well, thanks so much for hanging out. Hey, this has been House Culture Conversations, and we're getting ready to fire it up on Twitch. DJ DLott, yep, yours truly filling in for DJ Dewey B, who's going to host the station. But Groove Sessions are nonstop to Grooveville. It's about to take off. Hey, George, we're going to see you real soon. G Spot in the house. Take care. You guys have a good night.
Thanks
Peace.
for having me.
You
I'll let
bet.
you